Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to this video series or discussion live stream on Windows Server 2003. So I'll just share my screen here. Okay, Chapter 8, Active Directory, Group Policy Management Overview. Group Policy is one of the most powerful features in Windows Server 2003. It allows administrators to centrally manage and configure operating systems, applications, and user settings within an Active Directory AD environment. This chapter will guide you through the architecture, creation, application, and best practices of Group Policy Objects GPOs 8.1. What is Group Policy? Group Policy provides a centralized way to manage user and computer configurations across the network. It operates through Group Policy Objects GPOs, which are linked to AD containers such as sites, domains, organizational units, OUs. Each GPO contains policy settings that control the working environment of users and computers. 8.2 Group Policy Architecture. GPOs consist of two main components. One, Group Policy Container GPC, stored in Active Directory and includes versioning, information and links. Group Policy Template GPT, stored in syseval on domain controllers, includes policy settings, script and ADM templates. When a computer starts or a user logs in, applicable GPOs are retrieved and applied in the following order: local GPO, site GPO, domain GPO, or GPOs from top to bottom. Later GPOs override earlier ones if conflicts exist. 8.3 Group Policy Management Console GPMC. GPMC provides a unified interface to manage GPOs. It replaces earlier tools like Active Directory, Users and Computers ADUC, and Group Policy Editor gpedit.msc for most tasks. To install GPMC, download and install gpmc.msi package from Microsoft. Must be installed on Windows XP, XP1 or later Server 2003. Key features include GPO creation and linking, backup and restore GPOs, resultant set of policy RSOP analysis, delegation of GPO management. 8.4 Creating and linking GPOs. To create a GPO, open GPMC. To right-click the desired container, domain or OU, create and link a GPO here. 3. Name the GPO workstation security policy. 4. Right-click the new GPO, edit to open the Group Policy Editor. Common containers to link GPOs. Domain affects all users and computers in the domain. OU, best for applying targeted policies for departments. Site, useful in multi-site environments with unique needs. 8.5 Configuring policy settings. Group policy settings fall into two main categories. Computer configuration applies at system startup, includes security software and administrative templates. User configuration applies at user login, controls desktop settings, folder redirection, and more. Examples: disable control panel, user configuration, administrative templates, control panel, prohibit access, set a login script, user configuration, Windows settings, scripts, log on, log off. 8.6 Group Policy Processing and Research. GPOs are refreshed every 90 minutes on domain members with a 30-minute random offset. Domain controllers refresh every 5 minutes. 8.7 Filtering and targeting GPOs. You can control which users or computers a GPO applies to using security filtering. Apply GPO only to specific groups via ACLs, which is access control lists. WMI filtering. Apply GPO based on system attributes, e.g. OS version, RAM, etc. 8.8 Resultant Set of Policy RSOP. RSOP helps diagnose and predict the effects of GPO's logging mode. Shows currently applied settings for a user computer planning mode. Simulates the effect of GPO changes to use RSOP. Run OpenMMC. Add RSOP snap-in to follow the wizard and select target user computer tree. View effective policies. 8.9 Managing GPO backups and restores. Use GPMC to backup and restore GPOs. Backup a GPO. 1. Right-click the GPO. Backup. 2. Choose location and description. Restore a GPO. Right-click Group Policy Objects. Manage backups. 2. Select the backup and click Restore. 8.10 Best practice for group policy. Use OUs wisely. Structure AD to reflect policy needs. Avoid excessive GPO layering. Keep GPOs concise and clear. Test in a lab environment before production deployment. Document all changes. Include purpose and target audience. Limit use of scripts and loop back unless necessary. Backup policies regularly. Summary. Group policy is the cornerstone of enterprise configuration management in Windows Server 2003. With gMPC, OU planning, and best practices, administrators can effectively control every facet of user and computer behavior. Understanding and utilizing group policy will dramatically improve your ability to maintain a secure, standardized, and efficient environment. Chapter 9 Managing File and Print Services Overview. Windows Server 2003 provides robust file and print services that are essential in any enterprise environment. This chapter explores how to configure, manage, and optimize file and print resources with a focus on security, availability, and ease of access. 9.1 Introduction to File and Print Services. File and print services in Windows Server 2003 allows organizations to store and share files centrally, control user access to data, manage permissions and quotas, deploy network printers. These services are core components and are installed by default on most Windows Server 2003 editions. 9.2 Configuring file sharing. To create a file share, 1. Right-click a folder in Windows Explorer. 2. Click Sharing and Security. 3. Enable Share this folder. 4. Set the share name and permissions. Type of permissions. Full control, change, read applies to users accessing via network NTFS permissions. Full control, modify, read, and execute, etc. apply to both local and remote users. Effective permissions, most restrictive combination of share and NTFS permissions. 9.3 Managing access with NTFS permissions. NTFS provides granular control over files and folders. Common permission groups, permission description, full control, all actions including ownership changes, modify, read, write, delete, but not permission changes, read and execute, read files and run executables, list folder contents, view folder contents, read, view contents, write, add files, folders. Use the security tab in folder properties to configure NTFS permissions. Always assign permissions to groups, not individual users, to simplify administration. 9.4 Disk quotas and file screening. Disk quotas help prevent users from consuming excessive disk space. To configure, open My Computer, right-click Volume Properties Quota tab. To enable quota management tree, set the default limits and warning levels. Windows Server 2003 R2 introduces File Server Resource Manager FSRM, installable as an add-on for more advanced file screening and quota management. 9.5 Distributed File System DFS. DFS allows you to organize file shares into a single logical namespace. 2 DFS modes: standalone DFS namespace stored on a single server, domain-based DFS namespace integrated into Active Directory for replication and fault tolerance benefits, simplified access paths / domain.local /h, or improved availability via replication, centralized management. To configure DFS: 1. Install DFS via add remove Windows components. 2. Open DFS MMC snap-in. 3. Create a new namespace and add links. 9.6 Offline files and caching. Windows Server 2003 supports offline files, allowing users to cache files locally and work offline. To enable on the server share, go to sharing, caching, choose caching type, manual, automatic, none. Users on supported clients, e.g. Windows XP, can mark files for offline use. Synchronization occurs during connection events. 9.7 Configuring print services. Print services allow network-based printing with centralized control. To install a printer, open printers and faxes. Click Add a printer, use local printer or network printer. Share the printer and assign permissions. Install appropriate drivers, set quotas and logging via Print Management Console. Use group policy for printer deployment in enterprise environments. 9.8 Printer permissions and management. Printer permissions: print, submit, print jobs, manage documents, pause, rename, reorder jobs, manage printers, modify printer settings and permissions. Use the Security tab in Printer Properties to set permissions. Use Print Spooler service, spool sv.exe to manage queued jobs. You can restart this service when troubleshooting printing issues. 9.9 Auditing and monitoring file and print access. Enable auditing to track access. 1. Enable object access in local security policy, auto policy. 2. On folders, printers, set audit entries via the Security Advanced tab. Monitor event viewer, security logs, performance monitor and sysmon for real-time tracking. Log files for print job history. Enable print properties advanced. 9.10 Best practice. Use NTFS over FAT32 for security and stability. Combine share plus NTFS permissions for effective access controls. Store shares on dedicated data volumes to avoid OS interference. Use DFS for load balancing and redundancy. Regularly back up file shares using NT Backup or a third-party tool. Use group policy to assign printers and manage offline file. Summary: Windows Server 2003's file and print services are foundational for any business network. Properly configured shares, printers and quotas ensure data is accessible, secure and well managed. DFS and offline files further enhance availability and user experience, while auditing tools help maintain accountability. I'm going to leave it here today for this live stream. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope you have a nice week. Thank you.